So pros and cons with Seestern, Sugis, the line of watches. Pros, incredible price points for really good watches. Cons, things can escalate quickly. Um, I've actually had more, but I've given them away or loaned them out or whatever. But anyway, guys, let's talk about this particular one today. We'll talk about a few of the others in a future video, but I really wanted to cover this one first. This is the Seestern Titanium. They call it a limited edition, but I mean, there's no numbers or anything on it, so I don't know like how limited it really is. But let's zoom in, take a closer look at this. You can get it in either a black colorway or this blue. So I didn't even really pick. They just basically, I said, just send me a couple watches. In this batch, they sent me this one and then that white dial GMT in the background. So, disclaimer, they sent me these watches to video without the expectations of return. So they've given me these watches. So, there you go. You have that too. So case size on this is 39 millimeter. It's a grade 2 titanium, so it is nice and lightweight, but 39 millimeter case. The bezel is just a touch wider. Actually, I didn't measure the bezel. Let's measure the bezel. I'm assuming it's going to be like 40. Pretty much 40. So 0.5 millimeter overhang on each side. The lug to lug is a fairly short or good size, 46.9 millimeter. So 47. So basically 39 by 47. This is going to work on a smaller wrist, or if you just prefer smaller watches. Bracelet tapers down immediately, so that's good. Thickness only 12.5 millimeter thick, flat sapphire crystal up top, sterile case back. You have 20 millimeter lug width. This titanium bracelet does taper down to 16 millimeter. And then on this one, unless they update it, it just has a simple fold over double pusher with only 3 micro adjust. You have screw pins holding in the links together. And you have a 6.9 millimeter signed screw down crown, keeping the 200 meter water resist. Ceramic bezel insert, 120 click bezel. Bezel's little loose feeling, but overall it is fine. I mean, for this price point, these are $299 is the price on them. $300, right? So I don't know. I think it's quite a bit of watch, I think, for that price point. It's clear in the industry, Seestern, Sugis are like coming out with some amazing value proposition watches and models. Nobody's going to argue against that. The only argument I think people would have is that their homage style is basically just like ripping off designs of other brands. Definitely the styling cues from them are heavily influenced by other brands, but the colors they use are completely different. The size of the watches are different for sure. And then, of course, the price point is different. The movements are different. So other than it definitely looks very familiar, the rest of it is essentially completely different. It's not a one-to-one for sure. Sized for my wrist, it is weighing in at 98 grams, so it's a nice lightweight. And if you can kind of tell, the applied indices are actually Lume cast. So they're completely printed off or poured or whatever and then cut. And they're completely Lume. They're not framed in at all. And I'll show you that on the Lume shop. Inside this is an automatic movement called the Seagull ST2130. Kind of happy to see that. Instead of using like a Miyota or a Seiko or anything like that, these are Chinese watches and they're using Chinese movements. That's what I would expect. That's what we see on like these chronographs. You know, you see the seagull movements in there. Like, why would you do anything different here? It's the ST2130 is essentially like a 2824 clone is basically what it is. So it works good. It's 4 hertz. 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's hacking, hand windable, all that good stuff. And you can get some of them with a date. So I have no problems with that movement. Let's zoom back out. Let's pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. Oh, you know what? I didn't size it. I thought I sized this one. I didn't size it. So 98 grams is with all the links. It'd be a little bit less if I sized it. Here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. It is a great size, very comfortable, very wearable, very approachable. You can see it doesn't take up my total wingspan of my wrist on the top side. So, I mean, you could probably go down to a 6-inch wrist with this. So it would completely work for you. Like I said, I'm not sure if they upgraded the clasp or anything yet. This one's sufficient, but it's not as nice as what you'll see on, say, like some of these newer Seesterns like this one, where it has like the C Ward style or Zelo style, where you have the on-the-fly quick adjust on there. It doesn't have that ability in the titanium version. At least at the time frame they sent me this. Things may have changed. Let's give it a quick blast with the UV light. These Lume cast applied indices are going to be great. Looking forward to this. There you go. Insane amount of lume. Anytime you can get your hands on a watch with lume cast, I think I've had a few other brands on the channel that use it. It's not as common as you would hope or you would see typically out there, but it's a great looking way to do a watch. It doesn't work on all watches, but it definitely works on field watches and dive watches. It looks good. It looks appropriate. Fully lumed bezel on this thing. Well, you know, the markers. Just a great value proposition. So if you're looking for a titanium watch, 39 millimeter in a dive style, you'd be hard pressed to beat this at $300 at that price range. Good luck. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next vid.